Okay, I think we're like 1 minute early because I have so many problems with setting this up ahead of time and then getting it to launch and doing all of that, and it just confuses the heck out of me. I swear, I think I'm gonna need a daily tutorial from Tearstone on how to do this. And I'm just checking on my YouTube channel to make sure that this is running because I, you guys know, it's a constant issue for me. So it should be running and live. It says that it is, but we'll see. And it takes a second, I know, for the YouTube to catch up with the stream. But welcome to the Friday live stream where we're going to do a writing sprint. And I want to show you guys. I talked about this in the, so actually, that's not it. I talked about this in the boot camp that I just launched. But I do the rule of six kind of thing. I've got six options right here with this. And oh, I know why, because I think it's set to unlisted. I think that's why. Public. Fudge. I think it's not working because I have not set it to public. Public. Publish there. I think it's going to turn on now. I hope so. I tried to start it early, tried to get it rocking. I am just not an expert at this live stream thing. Every week it's like some kind of technical issue. Because I'm having trouble with how to set it up and get it to launch right at 4 o'clock, trying to figure that out and trying to see what's happening with it there. So, welcome to the live stream if this is your first time here. And I appreciate you being here and Happy New Year as well. I think we're on. I think it's good to go. Um, and I don't know about you guys, but I have been planning my next book. I've got this rule of six thing here, just like I talk about in the videos for the boot camp that I just launched. I do the same kind of planning thing as you guys. And I'm going to go, I think, right into a writing prompt so that we have a minute and then I can check and make sure everything's working all right. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, that was just like a sample with the timer thing because Happy New Year, Half a Mo, because I was having all kinds of issues trying to get this set up. I swear I just need to like bring Tearstone every week to just set it up for me because it is just above my pay grade. I figured out how to load classes, how to record them, edit them, get them loaded onto Thinkific. I figured out lots of things, but I mean, I grew up with computers being invented when I was like 12 or 13. I think my dad got one of those TRS-80s way back when I was a kid. So I'm not as intuitive with it as most people that are under my age or a lot younger than me. And so every single week it's an ordeal to do this part. But I do figure out something new every single week, which I'm always proud of myself for learning something new. I hope you had a great holiday, Half a Mo. It was busy and hectic for me because we were seeing a bunch of different family. Finally got my tree down last night. I'm one of those people like the day Christmas is, as soon as we get done with Christmas dinner, I'm like, all right, take the tree down. I'm done. Like I would have taken it down before Christmas if my husband would have let me. I did all the decorations the day after Christmas, but I left the tree up until last night because he really likes at least the tree to be up until the first. So I made it. But the clutter kind of drives me insane. Although if you saw my office, you would be like, your whole office is cluttered because away from the camera, it's kind of like an explosion in here. So um, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I started the new boot camp. It launches actually January 20th. There is some pre-order pricing. And one of the things I talk about in the boot camp is the rule of six. And I do this myself all the time. I've got another notebook in a different room that is more about the book that I'm working on because I decided that I would work on a book at the same time as you guys. So I am literally in the planning stages of this book. And I have the first page written in my computer. So just like you guys on week one of the boot camp, I will be on my first chapter. And what I think I'll do is do like a little update every week. Assuming I get time to film extra stuff because I'm filming the course, I'm filming my regular stuff, and then also working on other things for my company. Um, and kind of update you guys on where I'm at with the book because right now it's just starting. And I really love to kind of do some videos on where it's going with the idea, how I'm taking off with it, not like share the whole book on the internet, but share some of it. Nice to see you, Doug. And yes, Half Scots know how to do this stuff. I think they do. It seems like, at least what I see on TV, Scottish people can have quite the fun time. And Happy New Year to you guys too. If you saw on the community page, we went to a Roaring Twenties party and ironically, one of the wines that they served there was named Pessimist, which I was like, okay, that's not good because that's the worst part of the 20s was the crash, the Black Tuesday. But we did have fun. I'd say maybe 25% of people were in costume, but my husband and I had been to a Great Gatsby party before, so we already had the costumes, and I was like, I'm gonna wear them. If I get an excuse to wear a costume and getting dressed up, I'm totally doing it. So today, like I said, I'm starting a whole new one and it's going to be a suspense novel. And I came up with my six different ideas. And then I'm taking the sixth one and kind of combining it with the fourth one. And that's going to be my plot. Because, like I talk about in the videos all the time with the rule of six, that's exactly what I like to do is to come up with more than just one. Because it's so easy, right? To write the first idea that you have and just go with it. But you'll find that it is a lot more a lot more predictable, a lot more like everything else that's already out there because that's what is at the top of your mind. It's not necessarily the best idea to run with. So that's why I do the rule of six. And you will see if you guys sign up for the boot camp that I talk about it a lot. There's a lot of different occasions where I'm going to tell you to come up with six of something. So yes, and yes, there is a lot of planning in that book, Half a Mo for sure. Absolutely. I like the planning part though. It's kind of fun. I think it's kind of fun. Um, I wanted to see if I had any other news for you guys. I don't think so. I didn't get any like equipment for the studio that I've got going here for Christmas or anything. My husband did not do that this year, but he did get me the really pretty turquoise ring, which I really like. Or blue topaz, sorry, not um turquoise. It's every Friday is a long Friday. Even though I only had to work these 2 days, like officially, I had meetings and stuff on Thursday and Friday. I worked all week. And I usually work on the weekends as well, particularly when I'm doing something like putting a course together because there's 12 plus videos for this course because week one, I think, is going to have 3 videos. Week two will have a couple. And then there's all the handouts and everything that I'm writing as I go along so that I can plan it with you guys. But I think it'll be really fun to do it together. And I will drop the link to that in the chat in a second. So let's start with a writing prompt, which is all about your character's best worst New Year's Eve memory. And I think sometimes like we stay home or like we have a really boring New Year's Eve or we're really sad or somebody breaks up with us or you got the Harry when Harry met Sally where they run and declare their love. I think New Year's Eve is a pretty significant date for a lot of us. So, write about something that happened with your character then, but also what the impact is on them emotionally down the road. Let's say that they were stood up by their date on New Year's Eve, or they're that girl in the purple dress on TikTok, the purple sparkly dress, comes down the stairs to surprise her boyfriend, and he's like, uh, uh, clearly not happy to see her. Like, if that kind of thing happens to your character, then how is that going to affect them? And half a mo, no, it's not outlining exactly because you know me in an outline, they don't go together very well. It's more of a brainstorming. It's coming up with six different ideas. And do an example. I'm not sure if it's in one of my, I don't know which video it's in, if it's in from the course or something else, but I talked about how like if a mother gets accused of murder, well, how did that murder occur? And I've got like she was drunk driving and she hit somebody and killed them, or she was having an affair with somebody and killed them, or she's being set up by her husband who actually killed him. Like that's three different kind of ideas for a mother being accused of murder. and then come up with six, and you keep getting more and more unique. And generally, I end up combining a little bit of this with a little bit of that to this, usually the sixth one, because it's the most unique. Hey, sorry. I was singing your praises earlier, Tearstone, because I was, of course, driving myself crazy with how to set this whole thing up. And yeah, there's always something I'm doing wrong with it. But I'm very proud of all of the stuff I'm learning in like CapCut and all of these other graphic and video design kind of things. Always learning something new. So let's do a prompt, which is going to be the thing about the New Year's Eve. And you can always feel free to revamp it and do something else if you want, or pick a different holiday. And we're gonna be back in 15 minutes. guys do. I wrote for most of the 15 minutes, not all of it. Stupid Walmart came and delivered my Walmart order right at 4 o'clock. They had said six, so they were a little early for me. Nice to see you here, Maria, from Missouri with a storm. Yeah, I think if your character can brace from a storm, that would be pretty cool. I do like writing about snow because I used to live up north. I used to live in Massachusetts and then Indiana for a while. So I've been through plenty of snowstorms, but now I live in Florida, so thankfully I don't have to do that anymore. So did anybody try the prompt? How did that go? Oh, and I meant to drop the link in for the boot camp. Um, so I'm working on this new book that I'm going to do alongside you guys on the boot camp during the boot camp, which I think will be pretty cool. Um, and let me see. I'm going to give you the link. Oh, I think I have the wrong link in my notes here, so I'll have to go grab it from the thing. But it's an extra 10% off with code YouTube between here and when the course launches on January 20th. So if you sign up now, you can get that discount right now off the pre-order price. So the pre-order price, see, I can't do two things at once. The pre-order price is lower than the regular price. I think I took $10 off, maybe 15. Forget what I set for the regular price. And then you can get an extra 10% off if you use code YouTube. And you'll get an extra bonus lesson as soon as you sign up. It will just send you to a lesson page that has like 3 downloads and a quick video that will kind of get you started on figuring out what your plot is, hopefully. And nice to see you, Jenny. I hope you and Maria and Tearstone had great holidays. I'm bummed because end of the a year means, having to learn a whole new year again, filing taxes, all of that stuff. But it's also kind of, exciting to have new goals and stuff. And I did put it in the Thinkific community because we are, in case you didn't get the memo, in the Circle community, we're moving that all over to Thinkific. So I'm literally only paying for one community a month. Right now I'm paying for two. We're going to move it all over. And in the Thinkific community, I asked about what your goals were, your big audacious goals were for 2025. And mine is to finish at least two of these novels of the new books that I'm working on that I'm going to do alongside the Writers Boot Camp, along with the books that I'm already writing for contracts that I have, and get to 200,000 followers on the YouTube channel. But if not, that's okay because it's a big audacious goal, and I'm always about setting like big goals and aiming for the highest you possibly can. So let's see how that goes. Nice to see you, Doug, with 311 words. That's awesome. And Jenny finishing the book in January. That's awesome. It's always a great feeling when it's finally done. Uh, and it's been a while since I finished one. I think I turned my last book in like September last year, I want to say. So I haven't had to finish one in a while. I haven't had a deadline for a little while. I was just kind of took some time off from original publishing and regular publishing because I had a lot going on with my company and just didn't have a deadline, which was really nice. I've almost always worked every single Christmas on deadline, so it was nice to not have to do that this year. 5 people have read it and 4 of them loved it. That's awesome, Jenny. I'm very excited for you. So cool. And also wanted to mention that if you guys forgot about it or were still interested in it, the manuscript Monday will be this coming Monday. I've got the link here somewhere for you guys to fill out the form if you want to, um, because that will give you you can submit 200 words if you want to get some feedback from me. And I think I have two, maybe 3 people that submitted already. So, and one from before. So I'll have like 3 or 4 people to go over the manuscript live. Now, you have to be there for that because I don't want to talk about your book without you there. So if you submit, then make sure you come so that you can hear my comments. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk about it and give you the feedback because it's just weird to me to talk about your book behind your back. So I want you to be there so you can ask me questions. Working some editing and revision notes in the next sprint for Shadows of Bearhaven, high fantasy swords and sorcery type setting, but the story's a suspense thriller. I love that. I love that whole combination between the fantasy and suspense. I absolutely love suspense books. I devour 3 or 4 of them a week. And Doug writing 1,000 words a day. That's awesome. That's a really great goal because that's pretty doable, right? Like that's 5 pages a day. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility for people to do. And it's basically what I used to do back when writing was my full-time job. I would write for 2 or 3 hours a day. Like writing fiction was my full-time job. Now it's like a part-time job on top of a full-time job and another part-time job because the company's very busy. but I would write for 2 or 3 hours a day because that was basically all that my hands had in them for typing really fast because I do type really, really fast. And then I would spend another 2 or 3 hours doing marketing or responding to emails or, all that kind of stuff, like meeting with my editor, stuff like that. And just kind of building the career part. And now it's a little bit different. Like if I'm going to write, it's going to have to happen first thing in the morning before the regular company work starts taking over my day because that can mushroom pretty quickly. And then I'm working on all the other stuff after hours when I'm working on channel stuff and everything. So I think I work more now than I did when I was young, which is fine because it keeps me busy and keeps me out of trouble. But there are days when I'm like, "Oh, it's Monday again already." Anyways, let's do another 15 minutes and let me know again if you guys do the prompt or if you want a different one. Oh, and I meant to say that if you join the Think of It community, the community itself is free. I have 4 prompts up there for January. I'm going to try to do those every month so that you guys have extra prompts to do. I've been meaning to kind of put together a whole book of writing prompts. And if I have to write 4 a month for 12 months, then that gives me 48 of them on top of the ones that I've already done here. So the community, which we're just setting up, we have just a few posts in there right now, is going to have writing prompts there in the writing prompts section. So let's do 15 more minutes and come back in a second. All right, I'm going to restart the timer. guys, that time goes so fast, but I got more written in the book and I'm still trying to figure it out because all I've really got for my plan is this rule of six thing. So my approach is to kind of work out what my what if question is and then just write and see what happens and who these characters are. Let them kind of tell me who they are from the beginning. And then go back and start doing more of the planning, which you'll see in the boot camp course, a lot of that technique that I use to write a book. And Miss Blogger, still working on the outline for the fiction, fantasy, and contemporary paranormal romance novel. So I think you kind of got to choose between fantasy and paranormal because it'll have to fit into one of the two categories once you put it on Amazon or send it into a publisher. So either it leans heavier one way or the other because it's got a lot of categories in one book. And fiction is implied if you say it's a novel, so you don't have to say that. But is it a romance or is it a fantasy novel? Is it a romance with fantasy elements or is it a romance with paranormal? Is it paranormal romance with fantasy elements? That's kind of how you want to try to describe it so that people have to figure out what little green sign it goes under in Barnes and Noble, essentially. If you go into a Barnes and Noble, you see all these signs for different departments. Or if you go on Amazon, there's a lot of different categories, and you really want to kind of classify your book in a way that people get it right away. So it sounds like it's a paranormal romance with fantasy elements, which that's how you would pitch it. Means the main story is paranormal, and there's a little bit of fantasy elements in there, like you've got a Hobbit world or Middle Earth or whatever kind of element to it. And can your characters have more than one external goal, motivation, and conflict? Well, chances of them having multiple goal motivations and conflicts in a short book are very hard. Well, possibility of being able to work that in is really hard. I know because I've written, I don't know, 75 or so short novels, and it's really hard to work with more than one goal in general because you've got one book and one what if question. Now, sometimes other things come into play, like a character may be like we watched Carry On. Let me use that as an example. We watched Carry On, and his initial goal is to just get a promotion because his girlfriend is pregnant. That's the movie on Netflix about the TSA agent who has to put a bomb through the to the plane. His goal changes when this bad guy tells him he has to put this bomb on the plane. And then when his girlfriend is threatened, his goal becomes to not only not get the bomb on the plane, but also protect her. But not getting the bomb on the plane is a big enough goal that protecting her falls under that umbrella. Do you know what I mean? So the big goal, you can have other smaller goals underneath, like protecting the people he works for or protecting the people on the plane. Those littler goals all fall under the umbrella of the big goal. The longer that the more goals that you have in your book, the more complicated it becomes, the more unwieldy it becomes. So I would really try to stick to one. And then having like six motivations and six conflicts for each of those external goals becomes really unwieldy as well. So I would really try to keep it to one main goal and little baby goals that fit underneath that, like that example. Doug, another 325 words, awesome. And yes, half a mo, same thing, because like I'm just sitting here having to work, not like in a bad way, but like I'm kind of forced to focus on it for 15 minutes, and I like it. Although I focus on it for like 13 minutes because I got to make sure I watch the timer for coming back on time and fallen down the too many GMCs in a small book. Yes, that rabbit hole can just make it too complicated. I would just work with one and then layer in others if you find you need it for the book to be longer and more complex. But really kind of just start with one. The whole thing that will teach you how to write a book is writing a book. So write it with the main goal and then see what happens because you'll learn a lot just from doing that. Um, and yes, you'll have multiple goals between their external and their internal goals. But you don't want to have like, I want to get a job here and I want to pay for my grandmother's surgery over here and I want to save the family farm over there. Those are all equally competing sort of goals. You really want to have them be interlocking as much as possible. And if it's a long book, again, that you're going to have one main goal that stretches from beginning to end. Like if you look at the Lord of the Rings, what is that? The series, the prequel that's on um, Prime or something. That whole series, the goal is to, prevent the orcs and Sauron from coming back to life and getting control of Middle Earth. And so that's the goal that everybody has for the whole overarching part of season two of that series. Rings of Power. And there's other smaller goals within that, but you've got one main goal. And the smaller goals are basically scene goals that feed into the one main goal. It is also easier for readers to cling on to, yes. And it also keeps your back cover copy pretty clean, so it's not super confusing. And it keeps it from being just too unwieldy to write because when you're juggling many, many things that your character wants to do, it is a lot to keep track of. And Tearstone, a vengeance in this life or the next, I love that. That's a pretty clear cut goal, right? Getting the vengeance. So those kinds of suspense and vengeance and thriller kind of stories, I just love those. I really do. Although I read a literary fiction book last week, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. It was actually really good. And right now I'm reading a really weird paranormal suspense type book. It's very weird. Took a while to get into that one because it's been very bizarre. The main character has a really active imagination, and you can't tell if she's talking about real things or fake things for quite a while. But it's become really compelling now at the second half. So can they have a shared goal? They can, yes, absolutely. Two characters that are trying to rescue a child, or two characters that are trying to get to Idaho and they're in a car or whatever. They can absolutely have a shared goal. They will have different and unique motivations and conflicts for that because we're all different people. So the chances of us having the same motivation and conflict throughout is small, but they can have the same shared goal. That's a book where people are forced to work together, forced proximity or, two friends having to work together. That kind of a plot works all the time. Um, and yes, burn the ring, half the mo, except they don't listen in season two, which creates season three and all of the other stuff. So let's try to scoot in one more. It's going to be a little bit shorter because I have a call after this for a client. So it's going to be a little bit shorter and I don't know how to change the timer thing. So let's just do like 6 minutes and I'll pop back in for a couple minutes to talk again if you guys have any questions. And I will also drop in the link to the Writers Bootcamp if you want to sign up, get extra 10% off with code YouTube. Okie dokie. Sorry that I have a call today. So, guys, I got to end like right around 5. Can they have a shared motivation? This blogger asked. But yes, but it's still going to be personal to them. You can have two characters that both want to rescue a little girl, let's say, but one maybe did it out of is doing it out of guilt because she's the one who lost him, and the other person's doing it because it's their child. So they can have a shared motivation, but you don't make it too much the same because then you're writing about two exact same people. So where is it? Where is the intrigue for the reader? So you just really want to kind of think it through so that it's unique and interesting and compelling, and their reasons are different. So you've got really real good engagement with the characters. Um, yeah, different motivations will definitely make it more interesting. And Maria, the mini feedback session is at 3 o'clock on Monday, and those are every other Monday. So it'll be this Monday and then in 2 more weeks. And yes, Jenny, that's a great example. One wants to win a race because he wants to show his parents that he's capable, and the other one wants to win because he's never won anything. Yes, they can both have the same goal and two different motivations. And then that makes the reader root for both of them, right? Like the kid who has parents that think he's an idiot, like you really want to see him win, right? Because his parents maybe will finally notice him. And then the one who's never won anything, you're like, oh, I want you to win too. I remember watching Kingdom of Heaven, which is a movie with Orlando Bloom. It's about the Holy Wars. It's not like a religious movie. It's just a historical movie. And I kind of wanted both sides to win because the director did such a good job of showing both sides. Same with Heroes of Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Fathers, or I think that's what the two Clint Eastwood movie titles are. I really wanted both sides to win because I felt for both the Japanese side and the American side in those movies. He did such a good job of really bringing those motivations to light. They're different motivations and the characters are different, but you root for both of them. And that makes the reader really torn and makes them really invested. So, for sure, just start writing them, see what comes to mind, because maybe you'll find out something about the character that you didn't know before. All right. So if you guys haven't joined the new community, I recommend joining that and that's free because the character master plan, or I renamed it to complete character plan and the complete plotting plan, are both over there. I updated them a little bit to reflect some of the things I've talked about on the channel. Those are both over there and they're free, as is the highlighter method of learning to plot. So I've put everything into one place now. So if I have a free download, I'm going to put it there on the Thinkific page. And I'll drop in a link to one of the handouts if you want to download over there. It'll be able to bring you to any one of them if you go over there. Ah, there it is. This is the highlighter method of learning to plot handout, if you guys don't already have that. So all of them are going to be all shared in one place. So for sure, sign up for the new free Thinkific site and community. And I will see you guys on Monday at 3. So have a great weekend and let's write plenty, right? That's the goal always. Good to see you guys and be back next week.